tired. I'm tired of America from being shot down like dogs. I'm tired. I'm
Until this hour, and in spite of the danger in which we stand, and all that I know is happening all around us every day, we forged ourselves out of this fire. And if we could do that, and we have done that, we can deal with what now lies before us.
That's there every year. They know me now. It's like, yo, hey, what's up? Nigga Black, yo, what's going on? I ain't gonna tell you no more when I admit this.
He can't sing. That's all right. Come on, Big Daddy.
When I was an undergraduate, James Baldwin published an essay about Black English and declaring that it was a language. I think it was in the New York Times, like an op-ed page piece.
People evolve a language in order to describe and thus control their circumstances, or in order not to be submerged by a reality that they cannot articulate. Now, if this passion, this skill, this sheer intelligence, this incredible music, if this absolutely unprecedented journey does not indicate that Black English is a language, I am curious to know what definition of a language is to be trusted.
I'd never taken a course in linguistics. I didn't know what a dialect was, what a language was. But I do know that so much that's peculiar about the African-American experience manifests itself in language. Your being is manifested in language. And each people have a unique way of being in the world. So I find the way that African-American culture expresses itself in its full variety totally fascinating. So much that is unique about African-American history and culture and thought is contained in the way we use language.
African-American language or African-American vernacular English, whatever you choose to call it, like any other language, doesn't exist in a vacuum. You know, it's a part of the fabric of people's lives. There are a lot of beautiful ways in which we can see African-American English expressive, you know, in music and preaching and just the everyday flavor of conversation. But there are also ways in which, because African Americans don't live in a vacuum, they live in a larger society, there are ways in which it's sometimes used to discriminate against speakers of African American English.
We are always met with acoustic cues and a signal that allow us or help us to map a person to several categories at once. We hear something, I think that's a boy, that's a little boy from Mississippi, right? We do this all the time. This is how we negotiate the world as we go through and we map people to different categories. The problem is when that mapping to a particular category denies people of certain rights or opportunities. And that is what we see a lot in racial profiling. We deny people of the right to peacefully drive home, the right to, you know, feel like they can speak safely in the classroom. It's like we deny you of these little comforts that we take for granted sometimes, right? In the broader American society, we deny them of the comforts of just being able to traverse that space. as any other human being would.